I always joke that clearly I have a book problem, but I feel like that's even more abundantly clear with even when I'm trying to be better, how often I have book hauls. It's been a little bit though, so I have to at least give me that. But yeah, we got plenty to look at here. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, it is time for a book haul and a pretty nifty one. Got a lot of good stuff here. This is like half things that I'd had already, and half because naturally I went to go visit Andrew, and I always end up getting a bunch of books either from him or book shopping while we're there, and so there's a fair amount of stuff to look at. So let's jump in and take a look at all of the pretty books we have this time. So we're going to start it off with Heliotrope by Palmer Pickering. This one was sent to me by the author with a nice little bit of personalization, which is always just super cool. Always appreciate that. And this is a beautiful book, and one I've heard a lot about, and I heard even more about from Andrew recently. Also came with these cool little things here. Which are super nifty as well. And so I'm excited to get to this one. This is one too I know where there's like certain like magic, like the circle is relevant for that. This is a chunky one. It sounds like kind of a chunky, slower paced book, which as you probably know is my jam. So eagerly looking forward to this. I still have some other review copies I need to get caught up on, but I'm getting in a pretty good place with them slowly but surely. So happy with that. Next up we have Spirit Gate by Kate Elliott, which is the first book in the Crossroads Trilogy. Now, I've had mass market paperback copies of this series for quite some time, but when I came across the first one in hardcover, especially because I'm planning to get to this soon, I absolutely could not pass that up because I greatly prefer hardcover over mass market paperback, so I was really excited to see this one and as a new copy to replace. And then we have one I actually got from Andrew, which is No Heart for a Thief by James Lloyd Doolan. And this one actually I got an e-arc for from the author, and I reviewed pretty recently. This is the first book in my lead to, and I am like super high on this one. You can check out my review if you want to hear more. Really enjoyed this and really curious to see where it's going to go. Was a really cool debut copy here, and so now I've got this fancy copy to go along with it. Next up we have, which I did a short on, so you've probably already seen, but Debunked by Dido Abbott, which is the first of the Terravinum Chronicles, which are published in Rome. This is just like the design of this book, like the map, everything it came with was just so cool. Getting it from the author's website, just one of the most fun little book things that I bought. So this one I know is in SPS of C, and it's a semi-finalist right now. It's not one that was assigned to my team, unfortunately, but definitely going to be getting to it anyway, so really excited to read that one. And then we have, my birthday was this month, and I did get the Pariah and the Martyr by Anthony Ryan, which Doug from Discord sent me, so thank you so much, Doug. This adds to my huge collection of Anthony Ryan books that I still need to read, but I really loved Bloodsong. I'm planning on finishing that series. I've heard great things about Draconis Memoria. I've heard great things about these, so I need to get working on actually reading all of my Anthony Ryan, because these ones are pretty chunky too. Like, none of the other books are short, but these are pretty chunky. So definitely need to get to work on those, but I'm really excited to read more from that author. Next up we have Tarma and Kethri, the Vows of Honor Trilogy by Mercedes Lackey. This is one actually, it's my wife picked out. She sometimes when she comes to the bookstore with me will try to pick something out that she thinks I might read. So I read some Mercedes Lackey. I know some of it goes a little bit romancy that I'm a fan of, but it's a really beautiful book, and I've read some, and this is one that I think is, you don't have to read it like as part of a series, I believe. So one I'll be giving a shot at some point as well. Going back to one I've had for a bit, I know I posted on Discord, but I couldn't pass up this copy of Magician by Raymond Feist, because this is a really old paperback version, and I'm not really sure why the decision to have this as the cover was, because it's from Camelot, which is on the other side of the rift, basically, but it's just a really cool book, and I have my hardcover version, which I absolutely love, and that's what I read. So this one might not have that thing, because that was like the author's preferred edition. So I don't know, this one might be slightly different. But honestly, like, I just thought this was cool, and just as a collector, even at the end says "Watch for Silverthorn," which was not out when this was printed, so just tells you how old and cool that is. Next up, we have The White Luck Warrior by R. Scott Baker, and I still need to actually read the first of this series, but I found this pretty cheap, half-price books. You can still see the remnant of the sticker I'm working on getting off, but figured since this is the matching size of the other ones I have in the series, that I would grab this just to add to that collection. Next up we have, I was super happy about this as a half-price book find, the Second Chronicles of Thomas Covenant by Stephen R. Donaldson. These reprint UK copies, which includes the one Tree, the Wounded Land, and White Gold Wielder. So I had these old, like, original art, which I do love the original art, to be fair, mass market paperback copies that were not in great condition. So finding those for a good price with the nicer, a little bit bigger size, really, really good condition, could not at all pass that up. Then we jump back to things I got while on vacation, either from Andrew or just while there. The first of which includes these hardcovers of the Gentleman Bastard series, so Lies of Locke Lamora, Red Seas Under Red Skies, and the Republic of Thieves. And so you might recall in my last book haul, I found a hardcover of Republic of Thieves, which I'm now going to unhaul since I have these nice little copies. But these are solid copies, and I'd considered getting these for a long time. And then Andrew ended up giving these to me while I was there, and so I'm like, cool, that works out. So now I can actually get rid of my mass market paperback copies, which is all I've had for this series for a really long time, and I don't like really reading those. So whenever I reread, I'll have these now, which I think match the Discworld size too, so I'll have to figure out where I'm going to put these, but pretty excited to have those. Next up, we have the Shards of Heaven by Michael Livingston, which I bought because this is the guy who wrote The Origins of Wheel of Time, which I was not best pleased with, to be honest, but I had read up about his series when that was coming out, and I thought it sounded kind of interesting, so I just bought the first book. For now, we'll see. They actually have the second book, and I'm like, we'll just get the first for now. I've been interested. This one, I think, is a historical fiction with some fantasy elements in it, and so it did sound interesting, even though I'm kind of mad at him for Origins of Wheel of Time, but I feel like that was mostly Tor's fault, but neither here nor there. So next up, we have this beautiful copy, World Binder, which is book 6 in the Rune Lords, and this is just really great condition, looks almost brand new. And I keep getting really lucky with finding these hardcovers. The weird thing is it's books 1 and 2 that I still don't have copies of. I just recently decided I'm just going to buy 1, 2, and 8 were the only ones I was missing of those that have been published, because I found the others over time just randomly. So finding this, especially in this good of condition, I most certainly couldn't pass it up. I just love these old school covers. I mean, just look at that. That's cool. I love it. I love the old school art. I was really happy to find that. And then, what was one of my favorite and just coolest random half-price books finds in quite a while, That Way Lies Camelot by Janie Wirtz. This book is not even in print anymore, and so really not one that's easy to find. And you can tell it's old, but it's in great condition with the dust jacket and everything. I absolutely have loved everything I have read from Janie Wirtz, and so this is one I was planning on trying to get a copy of at some point, so looking into finding it was pretty great. I was pretty pleased with that as well. And then finally, we have, still has a receipt in it, The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell. This is one that I've been hearing a lot about from Andrew. I think he's just recently started this because he was doing a buddy read for it, and I'm not going to be jumping in soon enough to get the buddy read here, but it sounded interesting, and it's got blurbs from Sanderson and James Islington and some other ones, and just sounds like a good one. So I'll have to see if I can fit this in at some point soon. But another one I'd heard good things about, and so was excited to try. So that is, I'm pretty sure, it. Not my biggest book haul by any means, but still, it's a lot of books. There's plenty of books. Some great things, some things replacing copies or collecting things, but definitely nice to fill in some holes, to have some new stuff in there, some self-pub, some traditional, some old, some new, all kinds of stuff kind of mixed in. I'm going back to trying to very much limit my book hauls because I've really needed to do that for a while, and I haven't been great. I think I've just realized there is one more. I don't think I included this in my last book haul. I also did get A Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart. The author sent me this, and this is one I'm planning on reading really soon, which is actually why it was over on my TBR shelf. If I didn't mention this is one too. I know it's kind of a play on Atlantis. It's the Atalians. And P.L. seems like a great guy, and I've heard really, really great things, and it sounds like this is going to be right up my alley. So I figured I should mention this too with it. But anyway, that is definitely, I felt like I was missing something. That is definitely all of the books for this haul. So let me know your thoughts on any of these, if there's some that you've read or some that you're looking forward to, or what are some cool books you've found recently, and that kind of thing as well. So definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Wizardly Do It Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, any books, really anything at all. It is a lot of fun, and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.